Yeah, I think, the thing that we figured out that everybody needs to figure out is really you have to find ways to unplug that actually create replenishment and nothing less.
Hello, everyone. We are Greg and Jacquie Francis, and welcome to High Performance Parenting, where our passionate goal is to encourage you to raise champion children in a crazy world. Every week, we will bring you multiple episodes from our extensive experience of raising our six happy, healthy, successful, godly kids who are confidently equipped to win big in life.
We deeply believe that any parent who is provided with the right knowledge and continual support can raise amazing kids. And when they do, all of our futures get better. If raising up future generations of absolute champions matters to you as much as it does to us, here's how you can contribute. Like and share this podcast with everyone you know. And together, let's embrace this journey of raising champion kids in a crazy world.
Hey guys, welcome back. And I'm excited to have my hubby in here today. Hi, hub.
Hi.
I podcasted with the girls last time, so you haven't been in here for, a couple weeks or something. And so it's good to have you back. And I'm excited to chat today. You and I haven't had a chance to get on here and talk about all the fun things that we're doing here this summer and some of the neat things that we have planned with our family.
Yeah.
I'm laughing a little bit because both our voices are a little deeper than normal.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we got over a little symptom of a cold bug here. And so Greg and I sound a little raspy. I sound super deep. I don't even know. So if you're confused.
It's our Gale voices.
I'm Jacquie.
When I used to work at Red Lobster when I was in college, and I was bussing tables, there was a bartender lady that had probably worked there for like 70 years. And she had a really deep voice like this, and it's just kind of scary. So you didn't really want to talk to her. And I remember asking someone, like, why does she talk like that?
Yeah.
And they're like, I think she's been smoking since she was like 7. So ever since, whenever we get raspy voices, like, hey, Gail, how's it going?
All right. So that's a little background on Greg back in the Red Lobster days when he was a bartender.
And I was working for Toys R Us.
Oh, that's
pulling
right.
the carts in.
And your friends, remember the part, what would your friends do?
Oh, yeah, when they would come in and I'd be stacking diapers from behind the diaper aisle and they'd be yelling, Jeffrey, through the store because of Jeffrey the giraffe.
Oh, those were the days. That's interesting, though, that you're talking about some of your, jobs that you had in high school and college and stuff like that. The kids were just asking me the other day what I did. I mean, great questions, right? They're like, Mom, what did you start off doing? What was your first job? And I worked at an ice cream shop. That was my first job. Of course, Bella's like, did you get to try it all?
Bella would love that job. BB Sweets.
Yes, our sweet BB Sweets. And I was like, no, I mean, after a while, you kind of get used to the ice cream, and it doesn't seem as amazing as when you first got it. And then I moved from there. I was a bagger at a grocery store. And they were like, you bagged groceries? I'm like, yes. Like, we all had to start somewhere. I was in high school, and I bagged groceries.
Yeah. This is way before you check yourself out and bag your own stuff.
Yes.
And then get charged a fee for the bag.
No.
Like, what the heck?
Oh, no. We had to bag it right, and the eggs had to be placed in right with the grapes and the bread. You know what I mean? There was a system.
Do you want to pay $2 for a bag? No, I'm going to carry 25 items out one at a time.
And then they're going to want to see your receipt.
Right.
Because maybe you stole it.
For the love of money.
And then I moved to a cashier. I told her, and they're like, oh, that must have been fun. I'm like, I mean, it was a job. I mean, that's what you did. And then I moved, to bank telling and onto my college degree and stuff. But everyone started somewhere, right? And I just think it's so important to remember that kind of stuff. Sometimes kids today, they see their parents doing amazing things. Like, we get an opportunity sometimes to go.
Say it right or don't say it at all. Our son. Then when he gets so excited.
He gets so excited. Bruce gets so excited. He'll come running into the house.
Especially this summer when he's been in the sun a lot. It's like he's blonde, so his eyebrows get completely dyed out blonde. So you can't hardly see him, but they go way up like this. Dad, it was amazing. He uses like this deep voice for a 13-year-old. And so we all kind of.
Yeah, and that means something like he did something great. Like he did something great on the golf simulator. Or he did something great with basketball, or he did something great with tennis or something like that. And he wants to tell us all about it. So. Mm-hmm. But we'll get to the point of our podcast. That's our little beginning part. But today I'm super excited to talk to everybody.
I have a question, though. What do you call a fish wearing a tuxedo?
I don't know, honey.
Sophisticated.
Oh, my.
But you didn't have any of those when the girls were on here.
No, I did not.
All right, go ahead. What are we talking about?
Well, today we're talking about unplugging. Enjoying the summer, enjoying maybe even a break.
Crazy summer's winding up here, isn't it?
Well, again, what's strange though is when you and I went to school, summer ended after Labor Day.
Yeah.
And so that was like what, September 4th or 5th or something like that. We went back to school.
Yeah.
Here it starts like mid-August.
Yeah. Yeah.
How can we be in the middle of July and summer's almost over? We still should have all of August. So yeah, summer's kind of wrapping up. I mean, we homeschool our kids, so we don't start homework until after Labor Day just because that's what we do. Although, our kids are starting to feel like, hey, I'm ready to start a few things. Maybe I should pick up some math or do some reading or do, you know what I mean? Because, summer's amazing, but in the same sense, like after a while, you're kind of like, I'm kind of ready to get in a rhythm, right?
Yeah.
But it is important to unplug throughout the year.
Yeah.
And, Greg and I were just talking about this morning as we were going to, podcast today. Unplugging looks different for everybody. I've had some friends that have unplugged for the whole summer where they get off all social media. They're like, you know what? This is just a summer of unplugging. To them means get off social media, focus on the family, focus on their time with the Lord, focus on their friendships, and they get off all social media. I have some people that unplug and they go away for a vacation for a whole week, and they don't want their cell phone unless it's an emergency. They don't want any work, nothing. I have some people that unplug, and to them, it's 24 hours of maybe going for a hike or going for a little vacation or whatever the case may be. And for us, we've kind of figured out through the years what unplug means to us and what doesn't feel like unplugging. And we have some opportunities to unplug coming up.
Yeah, I think, the thing that we figured out that everybody needs to figure out is really you have to find ways to unplug that actually create replenishment and nothing less. Because sometimes you can quote unquote unplug, and it's like, when you go on a family vacation, like if you and I take young kids to an amusement park,
Yes.
okay, this is not unplugging for us. This is a vacation for them,
And it's unplugging for them.
and it's highly stressful for us because you got crowds, you got, especially if you have as many kids as we have, your head's on a swivel nonstop. There's so much coordination, organization. The kids that we have, they're all wanting to do something nonstop. We're having to say no, or like, okay, maybe this, and it's just like by the end of it, we're like, I'm going to unplug by going and laying in my room by myself. You're going to go take a 45-minute long shower just so nobody's asking you a question. You know what I mean? So yes. Knowing that if we're during the summer, if we're going to go to an amusement park, we know for us, this is not unplugging. This is like something we have to do. But, to your point, what are the things that help us actually unplug? And I think you were starting to allude to one of the things is just, in our life, we have to be structured.
We do.
Multiple businesses for us, other responsibilities in our life. And on top of that, the kids have school and they have sports, and we have to do the meals and the housework and everything else that needs to get done around here. So there is a tremendous disciplined amount of structure during the school year. And so when we don't have it, right, now it's like, okay, you and I have learned, and I know you probably want to talk more about this, but we've learned we can't just like all of a sudden have zero structure at all, because that's fun for like 2-3 days. And then next thing you know, like everybody's kind of getting antsy and ornery with each other and, just like starting to not listen well. I think it's kind of human nature, by the way. I know I do better within a structure. And if I'm not in that structure fully, then I kind of start getting lazier. I start procrastinating more, et cetera. And the kids all do it too. So next thing you know, it's like you'd think, a Druce goes from having 25 things he has to do in a day, and then he's kind of on his game when he has to take the garbage out. And when he has 0, it's like you have to tell him 5 times, right? And it's like, so we have to learn that balance of, okay, what does it mean to have like a light schedule, but still enough structure where it doesn't start creating, like anxiety for us.
Right.
And so how do you manage that?
Well, again, I think you just said it so well that I think most people do well with some sort of structure.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody I think needs some sort of, because by default, humans go lazy.
Yeah.
Our flesh takes over, and we would love to lay around and watch videos or, whatever, hang out and do nothing, right? And so I think by default, all of us do so, do need to have structure at some point, I do think it's important to recognize too is depending on what your line of work is, like we're entrepreneurs. We don't get 2 weeks vacation. We don't get, just like a break. That's not how things work around here. Just because we're entrepreneurs.
We don't get PTO.
Yes.
We don't get paid time off, and especially like when you get sick or something like just happened to us, and we kind of got knocked out for a couple of days.
Right.
Everything just kind of gets postponed and delayed. I was going to go whitewater rafting this Saturday, but the reality was like I'm working through Saturday now because whatever it was, Monday, Tuesday, I was just ruined. So, yeah.
Yeah. So in our life, that's a choice we made.
Yep.
We don't just have vacation days off where we can just say, hey, we're going away for a week and we want to turn everything off unless it's an emergency. Please don't call.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So with that, though, how do we do it? Well, we take, for our family, what works is little mini vacations. We have found for us, like Greg had just come to me, like I think it was a week or 2 ago, and said, I think I need to unplug for a minute. And to him, I want you to define what unplug means to you, because we made a trip available for you to do that.
There's 2 different things that really replenish me. One is when you and I go on like a 2-night overnight date night, and we go to one of our favorite places that we already know what to expect, right? And it's fun to explore new places, but sometimes when you've just been going and running, and you're like, I just want to know what to expect, and I want to know this is going to be fun, and it's not going to be some kind of new situation, or we don't like the place, and then we're finding a new place. So, we always go up to one of our places that's a couple hours from here, and it's a great drive. You and I get to have our date night talks on the way. We get to, see the water, see the views. There's something about water. There's something about mountains. We get to hang out, walk along the piers outside. There's the food's going to be great. We just know. And so having, for you and I to be able to connect, that's really a replenishing thing for me. To be able to go up there and do that. Now, the other side, though, as far as family replenishment, for me, it's some kind of family activity, and we used to, of course, live in the lake in Wisconsin, and so we had lake living with the kids forever. So there's a lake about an hour and 15 minutes from here, and so we just rented a place coming up next week. And I also am surprising the kids, not that it's a surprise, but I surprised them already by telling this, is that we got to rent like a nice fast boat with the wakeboards and the tubes, and we're going to go out there and we're just going to have a whole lake day for a day. We're going to golf the first day and hang at a cool Verbo. The whole next day is pretty much dedicated to water stuff, and then we'll head home, or maybe one more 9 holes before we come home, and and do that. But yeah, 2 nights, we're back. I don't feel like I'm behind on work. I'll probably still do something while I'm there. But if it got longer than 2 nights, then it starts becoming like creeping into the rest of our schedule getting pushed out, which then when you get home, it's like not fun. And I don't like that. You're kind of the same way, right?
Right. Yeah, I think you just gave a good example of what works for you. Do you know what I mean? Like, and maybe we'll hit on mine next. But like the importance is really like you figured out what really replenishes you versus what stresses you out.
Yeah.
In the past, we've done the wrong way of replenishing you, where we've gone for like, let's just say a whole week.
Yeah.
And not that we don't have those kind of vacations here and there, but where we planned to be replenished during that week, we realized after 2 days, you need to get to some work done.
Yeah.
Because that's your personality too.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, we were just in Hawaii, what was it, in the winter at some point, March or something like that. And after a couple days, you were ready to get some stuff done, wouldn't you say?
Yeah. I mean, it is true. It's like there is this window of, it's like, this is cool. It's fun to talk about. Now we're getting there. We get off the plane. We're starting there. It's like, wow, this is awesome. Can't wait to get up tomorrow. The next day, it's like, this is even better. And probably second night, it's like great. And then it's kind of like leveling. And then it starts doing this. It's like kind of like, okay, how far are we from getting home? And like, okay, what are we doing? We're all kind of sleeping in beds for 4 nights in a row that we don't really feel super comfortable in. And, all those things kind of start adding up, and it does start losing its enjoyment for sure.
Yeah. So I think that's important to know that for you just kind of explained, I think, especially as husband and wife and as parents, we should understand each other's way of being replenished, because mine's different than yours.
Yeah.
And how do we fill both of them?
Yeah.
So maybe we'll hit on that next.
Do you think my way's better? Or?
We'll talk about that in the next one.
Okay.
Hey everyone, thanks for listening and thanks for your love and support. We hope that today's episode added tremendous value to you and your family. It would mean so much to us if you would partner with us on our mission of helping parents around the globe raise champion children in this crazy world.
To do so, simply take a moment to like and share this podcast with everyone in your network. See you next time.